Do you ever wonder which one is the most appreciated rose in the world? I've searched the internet and the answer is Rose Eden, also known as Pierre de Ronsard. I'll share my experience growing this rose over the past year and a half, and I will highlight its characteristics, including what I love and what I don't love about this rose. Hi guys, and welcome to the Rose Enthusiast Garden. The rose I have chosen to feature today is one of the most admired and photographed roses in my garden. I've captured so many videos and photos of this rose over time, and I'm really excited to share them with you. So let's start with a quick overview. In 2006, Rose Eden was crowned the world favorite rose by the World Federation of Rose Societies, one of the highest honors in the rose world. The award is decided by rose societies from around the globe, making it a true international recognition. The title is not just about beauty, judges also consider the global popularity, garden performance, disease resistance, influence on rose culture, and the long-term appreciation by gardeners worldwide. So be reassured that Rose Eden is performing in all those categories. Some other famous roses that have won the same title are Rose Peace, Iceberg, Double Delight, and Graham Thomas. But let's go back to our Eden rose. This is a climber introduced first time in France in 1986 by Mayand. So let's go into more details and to see first the color and flower appearance. What makes Rose Eden so special is its incredibly romantic flower form and coloring. The blooms have a creamy center surrounded by a soft pink petals, almost like a painting. Each flower looks full and luxurious, with layers upon layers of petal creating that classic old garden rose look. The color combination gives the flower a very soft romantic appearance. Sometimes there is more pink and sometimes more cream, depending on the flowering stage and the weather, but more about the weather influence about the rose a little bit later in this video. Sometimes the flower becomes so full and heavy that they tend to nod downwards, and some stems are not strong enough to fully support the large bloom. However, I'm hoping this will improve as the rose become more mature and established over time. About the flowering habit. In my experience, Rose Eden is a very abundant bloomer, especially during the first flush of the season. In spring, the plant can become almost completely covered in flowers, creating a spectacular display. However, I noticed that the second and the third flushes are usually less impressive than the first one, with fewer blooms and sometimes smaller flowers with less petals. I will put here some footage with my rose during the year in different stages. About the growth habit and size. Eden Rose has a vigorous climbing growth habit with long sturdy cane and dense foliage. Over time, the plant becomes large and quite impressive, making it perfect for arches, walls, trellises, or pergolas, creating a beautiful romantic effect in the garden. I have planted this rose a year and a half now. It has grown this large, thick cane, and a new one is coming. I have seen different numbers regarding the mature size. On the label that it came with, it says 1.2 meters, but clearly this isn't true. This rose can get up to 3 meters high. I decided to plant mine in the ground next to the deck, thinking that it will do better than in a pot. But now I start doubting my decision, but I will explain why when I will get to the health and disease resistance topic. In my experience, the plant takes a little time to establish itself during first couple of years, but I've seen that once mature, the growth becomes much stronger and the flowering improves significantly. When it comes to fragrance, this is the only common criticism. It is described as light, mild, and delicate, but to be honest, so far I couldn't detect any. Maybe it needs more time to establish in my garden or a warm sunny day, which is not always easy to get here. While it might not be the best rose for perfume lovers, its breathtaking flowers and romantic appearance easily makes up for it. About health and disease resistance. One thing I appreciate about Eden Rose is its overall health and vigor. The plant produces glossy foliage and, in my experience, has shown fairly good disease resistance. It is not completely immune to problems, but with big enough sunlight and good air circulation, it performs very well in the garden. Last season, especially during spring, the rose looked extremely healthy. The foliage was glossy, deep green, and very attractive. However, after the first flush, I started noticing some signs of black spot, first on the lower leaves near the base of the plant, and later a few spots here and there on the rest of the rose. At the time, I thought it was fairly normal as the season progressed. This spring, though, the things were a bit different. When the new leaves first emerged, they showed signs of frost damage, and over the following weeks, I noticed black spots spreading much more heavily across the plant. The foliage lost that beautiful glossy appearance and the healthy dark green color. Because of this, I'm starting to wonder if this location maybe it's not ideal for growing a rose. It is possible the soil underneath isn't very good, or maybe the roots don't have enough space to properly establish. To help the plant recover, I added some compost to improve the soil. I applied a layer of wood chips as a mulch, and I fed it with liquid seaweed fertilizer. I also removed all the infected leaves to try to slow down the spread of black spot. I might have to spray it, but I don't want to do it yet. I will continue monitoring it through the season, but if I don't see much improvement, I may transplant the rose during the winter, either in a large pot or to another spot in the garden, if I will manage to find one available. In terms of weather performance, Eden Rose has been quite resilient overall in my garden. The flowers hold up reasonably well and the plant can handle different weather conditions throughout the season. When it's very hot outside during a heat wave, I have noticed the blooms opening more. It doesn't stay too much time in that cupped shape and the blooms become more of a full white and it doesn't hold the pink edges anymore. The flowers hold up beautifully both in rainy weather and during heat waves. The petals are quite thick, which really helps the bloom maintain their shape and appearance. I did notice some rain damage when the weather became very cold and wet around November time, but that late in the season I don't really expect the flower to look perfect anymore. About the Vase Life. Although Eden Rose is mainly grown as a climber, the bloom can also be enjoyed indoors. The flowers are long lasting and very elegant in arrangement, even if the stems are sometimes a little short for traditional bouquet. The thick petals not only help the flower resist rain and heat, but also they help the bloom last longer in a vase. I have done a test last summer with a few roses in my garden, and this is the one that impressed me the most. It holds the petal for more than 9 days in a vase. I will link that video here if you want to check it out. I forgot to mention, when this rose is in the garden, it will hold the flowers for about 3 weeks, which is amazing, and I rarely seen a rose holding the petals for so long. I think Eden Rose is one that instantly draws your attention in the garden. It creates a very romantic atmosphere and gives the space a classic cottage garden feel. It works especially well in romantic, cottage style, or English inspired gardens where the climbing growth and old fashioned flowers can really shine. Overall, I would say this is a must have rose. It has beautiful, spectacular flowers, amazing blend of color. I will even dare to say it's disease resistant. Despite seeing some black spot signs, I tend to think that the conditions where it's planted are not ideal. This is a rose very productive and floriferous, quick to establish with big blooms. The only negative can be the lack of fragrance. Imagine how much I like this rose that I needed to have white Eden, red Eden, pink Eden, and mini Eden. I will be showing them here as the season progresses, so please subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my videos and if you are happy to support this channel. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and until next time, I have prepared a playlist full of rose review right here if you want to watch it, including very fragrant roses like Belle de Jour, Chandos Beauty, A Whiter Pale of Shade, and many others. So until next time, happy gardening, bye!